know it, and then you. Why would it clunk, Andrew?
No, well, we call it, thank you for that.
Vehicle? Signature bars? Oh,
That's fun. Neat. What I said, stress or shocks I need.
All right, it's 7 o'clock. I'd like to call this regular council meeting for April 26th. Order. First order of business, the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? Anybody has? No, heard none. Can I have a motion to accept the agenda as is?
I'll accept the agenda for April 26th as is.
You, all in favor? New business, the minutes of April 25th regular meeting, April 12th, meeting of the whole, April 24th, special meeting for the budget. Are there any errors or omissions that anybody has in there? Very much then, can I have a motion to adopt the minutes for you, all in favor? 3.2, the Newton County Fire Protection Service Agreement. Comments on that? That's a 5-year. Don, would you like to explain?
For sure, and for the benefit of the council, I submitted everything to do with the agreement, the historical document. You'll see the third amending agreement dated March 31st, 2022. That's the current one. Basically, the Newton County, of course, provides critical fire protection service to the town authority, including emergency response, fire control, public safety, education, and they've been providing these services with the agreement which was signed in 2014. The fire chief and the deputy fire chief and I met in March so that they could explain it to me, and they passed it through their council. Of course, it's coming to you this evening, and there's been no changes. When I read it, I compared all the changes over the years. I don't see, personally, I didn't see any need to change anything, but of course, it must come to council for your ratification. If you have any amendments or changes, we could certainly entertain those tonight, and then we'll just have this agreement amended through county fire. But basically, it talks about how they respond. It talks about what they do in the highway. It talks about when we pay whatever schedules that we pay. What is it, 75-25? But they pay for it. They provided fire protection service training. That's Schedule B. Schedule C is safety code services. So that's fire side. That's fire safety code services. And then, of course, the Schedule D is our cost share, which is 75 down, 25 up. And if they're on the highway quite a bit, and of course, fire services charge the provincial government for engine time, ladder time, command vehicle time, and there's a set schedule in the province, so they're not making up the fees, but we cost share in the revenue that they bill to the province if they're out on 39 or out here on Glen Park Road and our state says. So it's pretty straightforward, but in all things, we're certainly happy to make note tonight of any kind of amending language or anything that council would appreciate us providing to them for changes. And if not, council can provide direction for signature tonight as well if you're
Anybody here, Corey, is there any concerns with the other council?
No, the agreement's fine. The concerns have always been why we ended up with that agreement and the history of what happened in 2013 that led to this 2014 agreement. I've never had any concerns with the agreement itself, just the circumstances that led to it.
Well, I think that's,
Well, Donna, this would be town authority.
Yeah, and the 2022 agreement is for the council. Yeah.
You don't have to retroactively go back and change everything. If it
No.
was the village
The
when
new
it was
one.
signed, then it's still valid regardless.
Just look at the March 22 agreement. The rest are historical documents for you.
does anybody have any concerns? Please, I would, motion to, have the agreement signed for you then.
I would move to approve the Duke County Fire Protection Services agreement as presented.
All in favor? 3.4, budget summary and council communique verbal. Say it on again. If you can-
Regulation cost. There we go.
One school authority. Okay, Newton County Recreation Center cost share. So this is what we talked about at the budget thing.
That is correct. We just need a resolution for, as a standalone for county council.
Great. I just need a motion to accept that agreement and then we'll.
I make a motion to accept the Duke County Recreational Center cost share agreement.
All in favor? All right, now we'll go to 3.4, budget summary. And council.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. CFO Van Leest and I'll share this a bit, but I wanted to just provide an overarching timeline of what we've been through. Not presenting figures, as you know, I'm not presenting any of that tonight, but basically we passed our interim 2021 budget that gave us operating authority to do the business of the municipality because we didn't have a budget. We then passed the 2022 budget. And then after that, we mailed out the assessments, and those assessments, Theo Van Leest and I certified, as in the MTA, we have to certify that they've gone out on the date and time, and we keep that certification. So if anyone has any concerns with their assessment wasn't mailed out in time because they went out in a batch mail, we certify that they went out that date, that time, and we're compelled to do that. Then, of course, we passed the 2022 budget last Sunday, and of course had budget meetings to debate it, to go through it, to talk about it, to ask the different nonprofit groups and the staff teams about their budget. And now we're at the tax bylaw stage of this, and we don't have to have the tax bylaw until close to the end of May. We're on target with that. We're not behind. You're going to find some municipalities have it out the first part of May, A, because their audit is done, B, because they've been in the business a long time, and C, because everything's done. So we're still in line. And this tax bylaw establishes, of course, the tax rates, and with that bylaw will come a communication, a communique that you will approve when this tax bylaw comes out at the end of the month. Now, just to let you know what is in a tax bylaw, that this is why we're kind of glad of this, and Theo Van Leest will explain it a little further, but just to give you the nuts and bolts of a tax bylaw, it indicates the following. It indicates the municipality is prepared and adopted detailed estimates of expenses and revenue, the estimated municipal revenue sources other than taxation, the estimated municipal expenses in the annual budget, the estimated amount required to repay principal debt raised by general taxation, the estimated amount required for capital expenditures, the estimated amount required for future financial planning raised by municipal taxation, the total amount raised by taxation, the Alberta School Foundation Fund, which includes residential farmland, non-residential allowance for uncollected taxes, designated industrial property, and so forth. So it's a detailed accounting bylaw is what it is. And I think I captured it all, but maybe Cindy, you can add a little bit because we've had some interesting issues with it. And Cindy, I will certainly turn the floor over to you to explain to council why we're glad we have these 3 weeks to get this bylaw done.
Okay, so with the school foundation and the seniors foundation, we get a requisition. However, last year, the school requisition changed in December, so I'm quite certain we under collected last year, 'cause it changes every year, because there's a thing called an equalized assessment that the province does, so that we get funding based on equalized assessment. And so then that's what we requisition, so that changed in December. And it changed by quite a bit, so we've under collected. So I just have to figure out what that number is supposed to be this year, so that we make sure we collect the right amount. And of course, being the problem is that I have two different numbers. I have a QuickBooks number and I have. So the Great Plains number seems low, the QuickBooks number seems high. So I need to make sure that I have the correct information before I do the calculations. I just don't want to be incorrect. So it's going to take me a bit to go through Great Plains why it's low. If it doesn't even equal what was on the tax bylaw, it's lower than last year. So then I can get those numbers together and then have them for the.
I'm afraid to say, because I can't get the dates right. Yeah. Yeah.
Have them ready and then they'll be correct. I just didn't want to rush it, have it today and have it.
I know it's like most of the, even like the county of Leduc and the city of Leduc, they
Just yesterday,
last
yeah,
night.
today the count.
So I mean, we're right on track.
Yeah, and even the county, like I had the numbers, because I looked at their agenda for today, but we didn't know if it was passed. I haven't even, because I haven't watched it, so I don't know. Yeah, so there's the other thing too, that we're waiting for.
Yeah, for anyone who's in the gallery or list, we need to do county's numbers for any annex.
Annex.
property.
Yeah.
Property, that's right.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Excellent. Well, we'll get the report.
That also helps with your tax rate, everything else that, that would understand all the figures of what goes into it as well. That's where we're at.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on that? There's Mud.
Obviously, we're well into the year now and we have passed the budget anyway, regardless of the tax bylaw, as of Sunday. When will we see various reports based on where we're at now? Because obviously we're operating off of a very different budget for
Yeah.
the third of the year.
Yeah, so now that the budget is done, I can concentrate on getting this year caught up. So I just have a bunch of payables to enter into PT. And then they're all been paid, but they haven't been entered. So I have to enter all of those. So I am, for June, for sure. For the June Cal meeting, I can have.
Well, yeah, I mean, it'd be
Yeah.
obviously good for council, no, but I think it'd be equally valuable, I think, for staff, know where
Oh,
we stand.
100%.
Given that we have been operating under a very different budget for
Yeah.
a significant period.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously that can kind of see where we're at this point.
Yeah, so no, for sure. By the June Cal, I'll have a variance report. I don't want to get.
2 weeks, I think, with how-
We'll tell the cow and then 4 weeks.
Any other questions on that? If you're not looking for anything on this, you need a motion for information, get this information.
You certainly, Mr. Mayor, accept it for verbal information, for sure.
Accept the verbal report on this.
I can make that motion.
All in favor? And then CA reports, there's, you said what you want to say, send the CFO reports, is anything else? Correspondence, it's pretty, I guess after 6 hours of Sunday, it's At this time, does the gallery have anything they would like to say, or comments or questions?
You talked in the past about making the town really nice. What's going to be done with derelict buildings? On my road, to, the few doors down, big old brown shed. The train used to be there, which is been taken up for the edge. Very unsightly. I don't know what can be there. There's a house across the road, full of black mold. That's been dealt with, not how many times, it's still sitting there. But what happens for the derelict buildings? What can be done?
Don, go ahead.
Oh, I can certainly answer that. Thanks for that question. We're starting to compile a list around the town of those kind of buildings and those kind of issues and how we handle it, because we can use our community standard bylaw, but we also have to tip into the Municipal Government Act to issue orders. And because you don't typically write a ticket for an unsightly premises, because it's more complicated. So what we do is we go into municipal government orders, we send them orders, what we call orders to remedy, to clean, and they take some time, sometimes to remedy, depending on the owner, depending if they're left. Fast forward, if that doesn't work out well, we can go to Upward a Clean bench and get an order to remedy. We could do that, or we can indicate that we are going to clean up the outside of their property. You can't do anything on the inside. We don't have any authorization unless there's someone hurt or animals are being abused. Then we clean it up. We call a company and clean up the outside, and we attach it to their tax. So sometimes they can be remedied very quickly, sometimes they can't, but we're compiling the list and we're going to go at it pretty hard this time.
Okay. Oh, yeah, special meeting. But why do we have to have a special meeting? Why can't things be discussed in a longer?
Well, the council meeting, the special meeting we had on Sunday, it went for 6 hours. So if you had one at 7 o'clock, it would be 1 in the morning when we were done.
Another one. I had friends over last week, and he was trying to put a bowling on for his son on Friday. And he phoned them up, and he was told to go at 4:30 on a Friday. Is that the rec center or just bowling?
Yeah.
I think we've just actually,
4:30 on a Friday.
yeah.
Friday and Saturday are the nights that the rec center is going.
And he, when did he want to bowl? That night? Or some other night, or
The following night.
following night?
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, through the gallery, I'll call upon Ms. Crowley for to provide a
Yes, right now we close at 4:30 on Friday, but in the budget meeting on Sunday, council will give approval to extend the facility hours. So going forward, once we have happened, we'll be open Monday, Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, 11 a.m. to 5. So, for 12 months.
Understand why.
You know, we just got over the COVID. I mean, things were a little disruptive, and that was one of our main contentions here on the budget we did on Sunday. And going forward, everybody agreed that we need to be more consistent, have the hours the same all the time, and that's exactly what we did. So you'll see the hours now that Saturday and Sunday that we open till 5 o'clock, wasn't it?
On Saturday, once we have staffing in place. So yeah, it's already gone to the
Yeah.
target higher.
But it's gonna be consistent, you won't, it's not.
There were seasonal variations.
Correct. Yeah.
So there won't be the seasonal fluctuation.
So we addressed that on this budget, we just addressed that issue. So I think, everybody should be pretty happy with that.
So come fall, are you going to be advertising bowling and get a bowling league going again? Or is that just come and bowl? Well, I hope so. That bowling out for dollars, there's no such thing as closing at 11 o'clock. But you need someone to bowl out.
So we need someone to run the program, we can't.
Correct.
The
Yeah,
manager's
yeah,
job.
we're making progress with hours. Staffing.
I think like everybody can agree, it's been pretty difficult with trying to get some set hours with, the last month and a half, I'm sure you've seen it yourself, if you come by the complex, it's been very busy.
I don't go
Okay,
there.
but trust me, as I went there a couple of Saturdays there, and it was standing row, and it was really good. It was, because, people are coming out of this pandemic, and now with the hours gonna be.
The pandemic is still on, don't.
Well, I know it is, I know there's lots of people, but I mean, as far as the government and everybody else is concerned, they've opened things up, and now we can open it up to that effect. Still have to do the same issues with COVID, and be careful and all that, because I mean, yeah, there's people still suffering, and there's a few people in the community who passed away in the last week that I know of. COVID. Now, there may have been some complications with them, but, in fact, two people. Great. Anything else? Thank you very much for that. I guess that concludes the agenda part here, and then we have one thing in camera, I believe.
Nothing in camera.
Nothing in camera?
Nothing in camera, sir.
Good. Okay. Sorry about
All right.
that. Other than that, anybody have anything else to bring up? Okay. Bailey? How would I call it? You couldn't think about it. I think I'm saying, did you get the email? The regional thing is.
That's not something we want to.
Oh, I meant to.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Well, I'm not saying you have to attend it, but there is their leadership.
Yes, so, well, good.
The one we got today is for May 10th, I think.
Oh, you want one for the 27th?
No, that's, yeah, for the municipal conversation from the Leduc Regional Housing Foundation. Yeah, that's